Alrighty, back with you, San Diego sports leader, the mighty 1090. San Diego State did it again, 8-1, 5-0 in conference play. And unlike 2 weeks ago where San Diego State qualified and became bowl eligible, and we missed that. We overlooked that. We will not start this interview without mentioning it. San Diego State has clinched the spot in the Mountain West Conference Championship game. Let's say hello to Rocky Long. He joins us each and every Tuesday here on the Mighty 1090. Rocky, congratulations.
Thanks, Darren. I appreciate you bringing that up. That's nice of you.
Well, I think it's a big deal, don't you?
I do think it's a big deal. It's nice to know that you're going to be in the championship game and have a chance to win the conference championship. Now, we would like to do bigger and better things than that, but it's really nice to know we're going to be in a bowl game and know we're going to be in the championship game.
And it's also nice to qualify now for at least what we expect to be 2 other games besides what you were scheduled to play this season, which is always nice to see, I would think, for a coach.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to play 5 more games for sure, and that's nice for a lot of reasons. I mean, players want to play games and coaches want to coach in games, and we have a couple guys that have done some amazing things around here that the extra game might put them on top of some charts.
Well, we're going to get to that coming up here in a little bit. Rocky, what's the scene like in a locker room when I saw a video, and I don't know if San Diego State released video of you guys becoming bowl eligible or clinching your spot in the Mountain West Conference Championship game. And if they did, I missed it, and I'm sorry about that. But I saw a video of Wake Forest becoming bowl eligible, and the kids in the room, the euphoria for everybody that knocks the bowl system and said these games, blah, 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 they don't matter, et cetera, et cetera. It matters to the people in the locker room. What's it like afterwards when, you have your team, you're addressing your team postgame, and you go, you know what you just did, guys? You clinched a spot either in a bowl game or in your conference championship game.
Well, the bowl game deal, I didn't mention anything. I was talking to him about the game, and DeMonte Casey goes, Coach, we're bowl eligible. And I said, yeah, I know we're bowl eligible. Are you happy about that? And they were very happy about it. I mean, I guess that's the first thing I should have said. And the other night when we won, we didn't know if we were going to be in the championship game or not because there was still a game to be finished before we decided if we were in it or not. So they had a couple days to think about that before we talked about it. But we try to, during the season, we get happy when we win, and we're happy that we're in the bowl game, but we try to keep an even keel because we would like to win them all. Now, that was ruined a while back, but we'd like to win the rest of them. So you move on to the next game.
Rocky Long joining us on San Diego Sports Leader, the Mighty 1090. Aztecs will be on the road this week against Nevada. Rocky, 41,644, that's what they called it. What was the crowd like? What did you make the attendance there on homecoming weekend?
I thought it was a great crowd. I mean, we had been told that it was going to be a pretty good crowd, and they showed up. They showed a little bit after, most of them showed up a little bit after kickoff, so there must have been some really nice parties going on out in the parking lot. But about halfway through the first quarter, the whole bottom section was full. It was loud. It was supportive. It was really nice to have that kind of crowd there.
I can confirm from experience that there are a lot of nice things going on in the parking lot before some of these games that might delay people walking through the turnstiles. I've been there a time or two myself.
Well, I'm glad everybody's having fun.
And I can also confirm, by the way, that when you win a game 55-0, that there will be a lot of nice things happening in the parking lot, usually starting somewhere around the end of the third quarter.
I noticed when we started the fourth quarter that a lot of that crowd was gone.
Yes. Well, you win 55-0. I mean, my gosh, Rocky. I mean, is there anything? I don't know what your expectations were going into the game. I know you're pretty confident, and so is your team. What do you say to the opposing head coach after you just beat his team 55-0?
Well, I know you kind of ease into it. You tell him good luck the rest of the way and let him kind of say something to you. And we're kind of friends. Sometimes you get with coaches like that you don't like each other and you only shake hands because it's on TV. And you don't say anything to each other. You kind of look at each other and shake hands and move on about your business. But when it's a friendly guy and you kind of like each other, you've been there before, so you know how he feels. So you kind of tell him you're sorry that it got out of hand like that and that he's doing a good job, which he is. That coach is doing a great job at Hawaii. The team I saw on film was not the team we played against. So he's doing a good job, and now you think the coach is just being nice to you when you say that to other people. But when they're friendly, it's a fair exchange. When you're not friendly, you just kind of look at each other, shake hands, and move on.
And that happens? There are coaches that you're not friendly with?
Yeah, or they're not friendly with me. I don't know who started it, but there are some coaches that them and I don't get along.
Like who?
I'm not going to bring it up right now. That's kind of private. And when we have head coaches meetings, it comes out every once in a while.
Okay, well, now I'm going to be paying extra attention to see what the interaction is like at the end of these games. And if you have another beatdown like that, just to read everybody's body language.
Well, we'll see if you can tell what it means.
Again, and I was thinking about this over the weekend, and don't ask why, but I was paying attention to a game, and people probably could figure this out, where Western Kentucky was playing, and they were up 1 million points in the fourth quarter. And, they're in opposing territory. Like, do you kick field goals? Do you go for it on fourth down? Like, is there an etiquette associated when you're in a beatdown like that in the fourth quarter, where you can kick field goals or you can keep going for touchdowns? Like, that must be – I know it sounds like a screwy thing to say. It's a bit tougher than the common person might imagine. But I would think sometimes you're kind of caught in between as to what you're supposed to do when you're up so big in the fourth quarter of these games.
Well, things have changed dramatically in college football. When I first started into the business, and even when I was first a head coach, whenever you were beating somebody that bad, you never threw the ball. You only ran the ball. You usually handed it to a fullback, and if you got first downs, you just kept handing it to the fullback. And if you eventually scored, it was okay. And once you got to a point that you could run the clock out, you took a knee. Even if it was on the 1 yard line going in, you would take a knee. And that was kind of etiquette then. But since the invention of the spread offense and TV, showing everything, that's kind of gone out the window. Now the attitude is if you don't like it, stop us. And so everybody just kind of does what they do and goes on about their business. Now, the right thing to do is to put all the backups in and get them some experience as you go, and that's what we did. In the whole fourth quarter, we didn't play any starters on either offense or defense, so we were getting them experience, but we didn't slow down. I mean, we still ran our offense and still ran our defense and didn't want them to score. So that things have changed. In the old days, coaches would take care of each other. Now they don't.
DeMonte Casey became San Diego State's all-time leader in interceptions. And I know we spent a lot of time talking about Donnell Pumphrey here and the things that he's on his way to doing. But for a guy like Casey, what can you tell us? He doesn't get the attention that your running backs do. He doesn't get the attention that your offense does. But he's been a really, really steadying force on your defense for a long time. How good was that for him to get that acknowledgement and also to set that record?
I think that he's very happy about it. I think that anybody that plays the game, and I'm proud of our team because most of our guys, including the guys that get the recognition, are team guys first, and they would rather win than have personal accomplishments. But whenever you get a personal accomplishment that's special, they're very happy about it. I didn't know until after the game that he'd actually broken the record. I knew he'd gotten 2 of them, and I knew that he's played very, very well for us for the last 4 years. So it was nice to see him get that record, and hopefully it'll stand for a while. And he's probably going to keep playing after this year. We think he's going to be in the NFL after this year. So he's got a ways to go, and hopefully he always has success that he's had here.
Yeah, you talked about him playing at the next level, and I saw this on social media today, Rocky, on Twitter, where you can get all of your news in 2016. That DJ Pumphrey announced that both he and Casey had been invited to play in the Senior Bowl, and I'd love to know your thoughts on that.
That is true, and I'm sure they're going to accept their invitations. And when you go to the Senior Bowl, that's kind of of all the All-Star games, that's kind of the one that everybody wants to go to because it's coached by NFL players. All the coaches, scouts, and all those things kind of use that as an unofficial convention. They all show up there and watch them practice and evaluate them while they're practicing. They're playing against other guys that are trying to make it in the NFL. So it's probably the number one All-Star game that's out there for the guys that are graduating or the guys that are coming out early to go into the NFL. So I'm sure that's a proud moment for both of them. I'm sure that both of them will perform very well there, and I expect both of them to be playing in the NFL next year.
Rocky Long joining us on San Diego Sports Leader, the Mighty 1090. San Diego State will be playing this weekend on the road. They will be playing at Nevada on Saturday. Rocky, it's interesting. A guy like me could sit here and look at your schedule and go, wow, that game against Wyoming in a couple of the weeks, that's a really, really big game for the Aztecs. And that's, completely overlooking Nevada, quite frankly. And just so people out there know, Nevada right now, a record, which they're not great. But still, I wonder how you coach against such a thing. And I've asked you this question a few times this year about, overlooking opponents, et cetera. When you have Nevada, which is 3-6, a losing record, 1-4 in conference play, it's still a road game in the Mountain West Conference where you guys are looking to maintain your perfect record here. But do you worry that people are starting to talk a little bit about Wyoming inside of your locker room?
Well, we're not talking about Wyoming, I don't think. And if they're doing it very, very quietly because the coaches on our staff won't stand for that. But, we talk to our players all the time. I mean, we meet with them daily. We talk to them all the time about the most important game is the next game. And I really believe that we have some maturity on this team in our senior class that wants to do more than just win the conference championship. They want to be ranked in the top 25. They want a chance, if everything worked out, to maybe play in a New Year's Day bowl game. They want all that out there, and the only way you can do that is to win every game. So I'm counting on the maturity of our senior class to make sure that everybody else is not looking past anybody. I mean, it's already burned us once. But I also have been around this age group for a long, long time, and there's times that you can tell them what you want to tell them and tell them the truth, and they're still going to believe what they want to believe.
Well, and I will tell you that a 19, 20, or 21-year-old version of myself, you would have had to worry about a guy like that inside of your locker room. So that's what I think is so interesting about what it is that you do. Rocky, did you watch the college football playoff rankings come out last Tuesday, and will you be watching tonight? Or will you be watching election coverage?
I'm not going to watch, and I didn't watch last week because the next morning you can find out what it was anyway, and it doesn't matter now till the season's over. And I will be watching the election results.
Okay, well, the college football rankings might be a little bit more controversial than what happens with the presidency tonight.
Yeah, it might be, but I've been taught through my years to watch what's going on when you're getting a new president.
Okay, well, that's good. I will ask you then. It doesn't matter, like you said, it's probably one of the more overrated days in college football when these college football rankings come out. That being said, we will have, Western Michigan and Boise State. What did you think of at least the way those two teams were placed inside of the top 25 by the committee?
I think they deserve that ranking. Since we haven't played either one of them, and one of them is still undefeated, I think that Western Michigan deserves the ranking they get. The Boise State's getting the ranking they get because of national recognition of their name. I don't necessarily think, in fact, I believe they're not the best football team in our league. I think there's another team that's better than them, and I hope we get to play them to prove it. And if you get to play them and you can prove it, then you just prove that you're better than they are. And then if that happened, we'd be ranked ahead of them.
Okay. And I assume there, because you took me on a little ride, that's Wyoming you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you think Wyoming's better than Boise State right now? Well, they beat them, so proof is in the scoreboard, right?
Well, that's the only way is when you play them head to head, and Wyoming did beat Boise.
Donald Pumphrey also said on Twitter today that he's incredibly motivated for this weekend. I must admit, I'm not sure exactly what it is that he's so motivated for. Did something happen? Am I forgetting something with him in Nevada?
No, I don't think so. I think that the young man's on a mission, and. I think that, around most programs, if you have a guy that rushes 21 times for 100 and something yards, that is celebrated. Mm-hmm. Around here, when a young man like DJ Pumphrey goes 21 carries for 100 and something yards, everybody wonders why he had an off night. I'm serious. It's just the same thing this is our sixth straight bowl game, and nobody cared that we qualified 2 weeks ago for a bowl game. Well, Pumphrey has a good night by everybody's standards. He goes 21 carries for 100 and something yards, and by everybody's standards, that's a pretty good night. But the normal reaction of the media around here or the fans around here is, why did he have an off night? So I think he feels that. I think he hears that. And obviously he wants to break the big record, and so he's excited about the next game.
545 yards behind Rod Dane. Yeah, the exact quote, I feel like I have so much to prove this week. Was he disappointed in his performance?
I don't think he was, and obviously as coaches we weren't, but I think he's heard some things about why did he have a bad night.
Huh. Okay. Well, the team won 55-0. I don't know what people expected. Is he supposed to go for 400? He had 85 in the first quarter, and as you said, you didn't play him in the fourth.
Well, the first thing I heard after the game when I was talking to family and friends was, well, that kid from Texas had 300 and something yards, and Pumphrey only had 100 and something yards. So I don't know what people think. I'm just repeating what I hear.
Well, there you go, Rocky. Hey, appreciate it. Good luck this weekend on the road at Nevada. We appreciate your time as always, and we'll talk to you next Tuesday.
All right, Darren. Appreciate you having me on. Thanks a lot.